Welcome back to Mommy is Thriving. I am Sami Galbo, your host. Today's guest is a woman who turned a freelance side gig into a powerful media platform serving moms across Central Florida and beyond. I'm so excited to welcome my friend Eryn Vargo, the owner of Orlando Mom Collective, a community-driven space built by moms for moms. Eryn began her journey with the collective back in 2013 and officially took the reins in 2021, transforming it into a full-scale media company that now includes events, publications, local partnerships, and grant programs, all while raising four kids. Yes, you heard me right. Four kids across a 22-year age span. In today's episode, we'll talk about the realities of parenting in a very digital world, what executive functioning really looks like for moms, and how grief, growth, and community have shaped the way Eryn leads at home and in business. Get ready for an honest, inspiring conversation about motherhood, leadership, and making space for what really matters. Let's dive right in. Welcome,
Thank
Eryn.
you for having me. What a wild, amazing intro. I love that.
I try. That's what I'm here for.
I love it.
Sometimes I record them afterwards and I'm like, oh, I feel like they would have liked this, but you were here and I had it done. So there you go. Wamba bamba bamba. All right, you ready, girl?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, so you started with the Orlando Mom Collective as a freelancer in 2013 and officially purchased in 2021. What inspired you to take that leap and transform into a full-fledged media company?
So, from the beginning, I had seen the potential of Orlando Mom and just what it was doing for the community, bringing moms together, bringing businesses together, really kind of just transforming what the space looked like. And I kind of think Orlando Mom paved the way in a sense of, locally bringing moms and businesses together, really honing in on that community give back feel, but in a new, fresh kind of way. It wasn't, like in my corporate life, in my former life, it wasn't one of these, big companies with a lot of money coming in and saying, we want to do nonprofit work and we want to support the community with these events. It was literally just a group of moms saying, hey, we want to share our perspective. We want to lift up the community in our own way. And it really was truly built from the ground up. And so when the opportunity came along for me to purchase, I always knew that this was, a part of me and something that I saw a lot of potential with. So I was really ecstatic for the opportunity to kind of take over and, go the next level with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love when opportunity meets you at the right time and the right point in your life for you to be like, yep, that's what we're doing and we're going in that direction. That's awesome. Sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways, right?
Absolutely.
Looking back on that transformation, what were the biggest mindset shifts or business challenges that you really had to overcome going from corporate world and freelancing to business owner and all of that? Talk me through that experience.
Well, it was unique because it was COVID at the same time. So we were still kind of in the I don't know space of COVID, and it was early 2021. So it was really interesting going from, okay, we have this, established brand, and I know what it's like to be a freelancer. I know what it's like to work for the corporate world. How can we kind of marry everything together and take this to the next level? And we just kind of put our heads down and trucked through what the rest of COVID looked like. We were kind of living a different life than other places. So we had a little more autonomy and flexibility with some of the things we can do. So we had great community partners that we were able to keep engaged through that. And I mean, it was hard transitioning from corporate life to freelance life to now I'm a full time business owner. My youngest was going into VPK right around the same time. So it was trying to navigate, schedules and kids and what does all of this look like. It was a lot. And looking back on it now, it seems like forever ago, but it also seems like it was just yesterday. So there's been a lot of growth and change in the last 4 years that I've been doing this. And it was a mindset shift in a sense that you have to really understand you're a business owner and there's decisions you have to make that are very long-term decisions. So you're not, as an employee of a company anymore, decisions I make affect me right now, this week, next month, this quarter, these are like long-term life decisions. And I'm building a media company that is a family legacy, and I'm hoping to pass this down, to my daughter. She's at UCF. She's a senior, and she's in the business management program. And so I want to be able to bring her on so she can eventually learn this business and kind of take it to the next level. And the biggest mindset shift that came with all of this is a lot of outside whole businesses, moms in the community, they look at us as influencers, like my team. And we're really not influencers. You could look at our Instagram and look at a real influencer's Instagram and you're like, yeah, they don't even compare. But people that don't really understand that world will just lump us in, that category. And while there is a, influencer aspect to it and a blogger aspect and just like mom life and mom voices, there's a legitimate, I wear a business owner cap, and behind the scenes, like I'm running a legitimate media company here. And so the biggest mindset shift was me learning how to navigate that and how to express to other businesses in the community what we do. This is not a hobby. Like I pay my mortgage by doing this. So that was probably the biggest mindset shift, is how I can learn to communicate who we are and what we do in the right, like most effective way.
And how did you like figure out how to portray that to the public? Like, I think that a lot of times people think that even like just in the mommy space in general, that it's just, oh, this is just something you do for fun. But in actuality, like, yes, I am a host of a podcast and have an online presence, but I'm also COO of a wall organizing company, right? Like that's my job, but everything kind of ties together for me. So talk me through like how you really like, one, it was during the pandemic. I was having a newborn and you were launching into business ownership. So like uh, I was
Both my
lonely.
babies. It was both my
Yes.
babies.
Yes, COVID babies. Hey, mine are 6 and almost 4, and so yes, I was very much in the COVID baby space. The loneliness that was being a mom during COVID, but you were a new, business owner. So talk me through like, I one how you were able to even like go into the community and make these relationships and everything else while it was COVID. Yes, we were in Florida, but still, I mean, I don't know what Orlando was like. Well, do I? It's like, did I go? Oh, I went in 2022 to Orlando. No, 2021, the end of 2021. I went to Disney with masks on, and it was just a very weird experience. But talk me through all that because I feel like, one, I still can't believe we lived through that. Like,
I know.
really, that was our life? Like how like your child in VPK during that time, like I can't even. I mean, down here, I remember my friend's son being in kindergarten and they had like dividers between the desks. Like I can't. It breaks my heart for all those children. But talk me through your experience during COVID because mine was the loneliness of being a new second time mom and yours was a new business ownership, which is a whole other loneliness in and of itself. So,
It really was lonely because not a lot of my friends in my circle are business owners, and so they don't really, now they are, fast forward 4 years, but back then people just didn't understand. They're like, "Oh, you have a fun new hobby." And it's like, "No, this isn't a hobby. Like this is a business. Like we're legit, and this again, it pays my mortgage. I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't punch a clock. I live life on my terms. My business is very much integrated with my life." So people did not understand that. They did not understand like, yes, I am home and I pick my children up from school and I take them to school, but I'm still running a business. And so the hardest part of all of it was some of the restrictions still, the my 4-year-old had to wear a mask going to VPK, had to stop at the front door and sanitize your hands and do a
temperature check.
forehead
Yep.
temperature check. And it was, imagine a new 4-year-old trying to explain all of this to, they don't really understand. He would take the mask off and the teacher, it was a whole thing. I thank gosh I wasn't there during the day because I can't imagine the teachers and how many times they would try to like get the kids to put the mask back on. Eventually that fell off and it
Right,
wasn't a
right.
thing anymore. But in the beginning, um, so it was really hard schedule wise because he was only there for 3 hours. And my other son was in third grade when the other one started BPK. And then my other two were older. So I basically had from 9 to 12 to move a mountain every single day in the business. And then I would pick him up and we would do lunch and, I would spend time with him. And then I'd get maybe an hour or two of work in because a lot of the business in the beginning was behind the scenes and just trying to like pick up right where the former owner left off and making sure like our content on our website, our socials, our newsletters continue just a seamless transition of content and providing that value and information for the community, but then jumping right into event planning. And so, I jumped right into planning a few events, which not having done that from A to Z before was fun because I'm basically just one of those people that is like, yeah, we'll jump out of the plane and build a parachute on the way down. It'll be great. And, along the way, my internal anxiety, I'm losing my mind, but on the outside, we're looking good. So navigating that was interesting. And then fast forward, when he went to kindergarten. So now I had a kindergartner and a fourth grader. I had 9 to 3 every day, basically. 9 to 2:30. But I had now this time dedicated fully to the business. But a lot of it in the beginning was behind the scenes at my desk, making phone calls, sending emails. I'm the new owner. And then I decided to jump right back into my relationship with the chamber, who in my former life I had, I was a part of, I had great relationships. And so I jumped back in with the chamber. And that's really was the turning point for people understanding that this isn't a mommy blog. I'm not some online influencer because I don't identify as an influencer or a blogger. I am a business owner and that's what I am. I provide, resources, events and content to the community, but it's not just me. You're never going to go on my platform and just see my face everywhere, in stories, on reels. Like that's not what this is. This is a community of moms for moms by moms in Central Florida. And we're not only providing, real-time perspective and insights on what's going on, but it's a lot of things to do and just hyper local content so that a mom doesn't feel alone, doesn't feel like she doesn't know where to go to find something to do. Now, in the past 4 years, that space, that hyper local things to do, it has exploded, especially here in Central Florida. And I attribute that to the fact that, we're in the theme park capital of the world. And so there's, a lot of people sharing similar types of content, but really mom driven, mom dedicated content comes from us. And so it was really difficult in the beginning because it felt like I was behind, a screen. And when we jumped back into those first few events, there was still the rules of like 6 feet social distancing and you have to have sanitizer everywhere. And, it was that type of stuff. But eventually that fell off. And now it's just kind of like, a cut and paste system for everything that we do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You speak so much, about your kids and your mom and with a wide age range. So I feel like you have such a different experience than so many of us, right? Like mine are 6 and almost 4. So I had a 2-year-old when yours was going into VPK. And at preschool down here, they also had to wear masks. And then they changed it that they only had to wear masks when they were going to special activities. Like they didn't have to wear it in their classroom, which was better. But I mean, I can't even imagine being the teacher that had to tell 15 2-year-olds to put on their masks. Like, it's nuts. Like, and that was a world that we lived in. Like, I have I swear, I swear I'm not alone in this. I have PTSD from COVID. I'm like, anytime my kid has a sniffle, I'm like, do I need to take you to the pediatrician? Are you okay? Like, do you have a taste? You have taste and smell? You can do both of those things? Okay, great. Fantastic. Like those are where my brain goes right away. But, your kids, they range in age from 8 to 22, right?
Yeah. My oldest is 22, senior in college. Then I have a 20-year-old. He is at FIU. And then I have a soon-to-be 7th grader and a soon-to-be 3rd grader. So my baby is going into 3rd grade, and I'm actually having a really hard time with it.
I understand. Like, my daughter is going into pre-K this year, and I'm like, weren't you just starting? Like, didn't you just start this? But yeah, no. So talk to me a little bit about how that parenting journey has shaped the way you've lead your business and really connect with your community. I mean, I think that you parented kind of in a non-digital world before. Yes, it was still digital 22 years ago, but it was very different than how is now. I feel like everything's faster now, everything's busier now. I'm like, I can't even put into words. I feel like you literally lived two mama
I
lives
did.
in what.
I really did. And it's really wild to look back and think about it, because even when my daughter was born in 2002, we were not a digital, Facebook wasn't a thing. Like, just imagine world without Facebook, okay? Like, it did exist at some point, and I had a child in that. So it was very, very different. When I think back to my younger two, because one was born in 2002, one was born in 2004, and there was no online, there was no mom sharing recipes, and this is how you navigate, this baby wearing device, and this, here's my best tips for if you can't breastfeed. Like, that didn't exist. There was what to do or what to expect when expecting, which nobody needs that book, and like other random pieces of knowledge along the way, passed down verbally or at the library or at a Barnes and Noble. Like, it didn't exist digitally. It really didn't. And yes, we had the internet, but it was not the same. And so fast forward, like, yes, I had a MySpace account. I think it was probably like 2006-ish, maybe right around there. That was more for like fun, social with friends. There was zero parenting, anything happening on there, at least from what I remember. So fast forward 2009, which I believe is when I joined the Facebook world, maybe 2008. I feel like that's when there really was like a true shift in life as parenting. Like, that was where I could connect with my cousins and family that didn't live near me. And that was really when like social media became a solid presence in my life. And so if I'm looking for an old photo of kids, I will go back to Facebook in my photo albums, because it's probably there. It's not on my device anymore, but I have like 30,000 photos on my device, but they only go back like to 2012, I think. So it was a different world. And then, as they got older, now my soon to be third grader, there are literally kids in his grade that have devices. I have a major personal problem with that. Like, I don't think it's necessary. We we live in a great neighborhood and a safe school. Yes, anything can happen, but like 8 years old is a little excessive to me. So when I look back at my daughter at 8 years old, that girl was fascinated with learning how to braid, ride her bike, and play with her dolls. Like, devices were not even anywhere near the conversation. So it's so insane how different life is now, and how we've evolved so quickly to devices just being this prominent everyday thing in our lives with our kids. And so I had to navigate a little bit of Snapchat. When Snapchat first came on the scene, she was, she wanted a Snapchat account, heavily monitored. She wanted, an Instagram account for her dance, because she was a competitive dancer. Where now, like, yes, I let her have it and it was locked and I monitored everything. If we rewind and she was 12 years old right now, I would be like, absolutely no, you cannot have that, because the world has changed from, sure, it's kind of safe, we don't know much about it, I'll explore and navigate this with you, to we now know so much about the digital world and kids, and I would never allow it. So I literally am parenting two sets of kids. My current 12-year-old, he's like, why can't I have what some of my friends have? And I'm like, it's a personal choice for me. I've already done this once, and the answer is no. So I'm sorry. And it is what it is at this point. So yeah, it is. I am navigating two kind of mommy roles in this weird world we're living in.
And you really are. Like, it's so crazy to think about like what life was like in 2002, 2003 versus raising your kid after the pandemic, right? Like 2021, like it was a totally seismic switch. And then how we were using social in 2021 versus 2008 when it did first really like come on the scene is so different. Like, now it's become such a connection tool, and I feel like creating these sense of community, especially for our mommy world, then it didn't exist then. And
Right.
then it was just like making sure that your pictures got uploaded and you got all the likes and people commented and all the
Or
things.
grandma got to see your photo, or like it really was more of that space.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's totally different. And now we know so much more, right? Like I mean, I am a little bit younger. And so I was like in the chat rooms in high school and like, like all the things that we know not to be safe anymore. Like, I lived through that personally.
I
So
was
it's
there
like,
too in high school, and my
I,
parents had no idea.
no idea. They had no idea. No idea. And it's like I had the big Apple that was like the colored Apple computer. That's what I had at home because it was my mom's from when she was a teacher. It was hers at school. And so she got to bring it home during the summer. And I thought I was so cool on my Mac. Now, like, I'm pretty sure if you gave me a Mac right now, I don't know that I would know what to do with it. I'm so PC world, but it's so funny. Like, it's just all those things looking back. And I'm like, you were a mom during a lot of that. And it's just, it's wild to think about. Like, it really, truly is,
It is, but I was a really young mom. 20 is when I had my first child. So we were growing up together. Like, I had no business having children. I've always, my mom's always called me an old soul. So, maturity wise, I guess I was kind of there. But looking back, I'm like, who trusted me with lives? Like, and now still every now and then I'll be like, why do I have to make the decisions? Why am I the grown up? I don't want to be the
Right.
grown up.
No, I'm like, I need another adult to make a decision for me, please. Like, I would rather not adult. Isn't there an older adult that should be making this decision? Like, why? I'm the child here.
Why don't we talk about decision fatigue either? Because that is a real thing. And I suffer immensely from decision fatigue. I think primarily because I'm a business owner and there's all these decisions there. And then I'm a mom and there's all these decisions there. And it's just like every now and then I just don't want to make a decision.
Oh, I feel that so much, Eryn, because I say to my husband, like, he's like, so what do you want to do? And I was like, no, I'm going to need you to decide that because I really I can't take on another decision. It's like COO at work, COO at home, can't do both. Like, I just can't anymore. I understand. Like, that one just hits me because I'm like, decision fatigue is a real thing.
It is.
And especially when you're making decisions at your job and you have the respect of all of those around you at your work and you're in this role and then you go home and your employees are 4 and 6 and they don't give you the respect that you get at work. You're like, wait, I don't want to be this person right now. I can't have one more decision. It's real. It's so real, girl. All right. So I'm going to roll back a little bit. And so I know you're talking about technology a lot and restrictions at home. Talk to me a little bit about technology and education. I know this was a conversation you and I had prior to taping, but, I think we both kind of feel that there's such an emphasis of technology now in education. And talk to me a little bit about how schools are using digital tools, like what you're seeing now, considering you had kids 22 years ago, and then now you have, your children that are still in elementary school and middle school. So talk to me a little bit about how schools are using technology and digital tools, especially for these younger generations, and what you're kind of seeing in that regard.
Thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of this episode of Mommy is Thriving. We hope you enjoyed the conversation so far. Stay tuned. Part 2 is coming up, where we'll dive deeper into our thoughts on technology in the classroom. Plus, you won't want to miss an exclusive deal from our sponsor, OneThrive, just for our listeners. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share our podcast so you never miss an episode. Come back for part 2 of Mommy is Thriving, where we can thrive together.